Satanic panic is coming back at full force, and that is a massive problem. Let me tell you why. But first, we need to talk about Balenciaga. You have probably already heard about the Balenciaga scandal by now. In November, they released an ad campaign which featured children. These kids were holding teddy bears, and the teddy bears looked like they were dressed in something very inappropriate for being around kids. Understandably, this made people really angry and very concerned when the photos came out for this ad campaign. As a result, people started to look a little bit deeper into it, and it turns out the whole thing got even weirder. Along with the kids and their weird teddy bears, people found some papers in the background which seemed really out of place for the ad campaign. These were documents from a Supreme Court case that was discussing CP and free speech. Let me be very clear. This is not a random photograph or a random set of photographs which took place in a random location and just happened to have these papers there. This is an ad campaign for a major fashion house. Somebody was in charge of putting that set together, or perhaps a whole team, and people were responsible for approving it. People put together every single detail. Things don't just appear. But after the backlash, Balenciaga removed those photos and instead decided to replace them with a new version of the campaign which featured adults. But this in itself sparked more controversy. Before we move on though, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Casetify, who are sponsoring today's video. They just sent me a package and I was very, very excited and happy to get it. They sent me these beautiful, beautiful cases from their Impact series. They're just gorgeous. I'm always shocked with how slim these cases are because they are so protective. You wouldn't expect them to be able to be this slim, but they are. Because of the EcoShock impact absorption technology they use, they can be dropped from up to 11.5 feet and still be completely fine, as well as being able to be dropped 134 times, which is 5 times the military standard. I drop my phone a lot, so I'm definitely putting this to the test, and I've had this phone for like 2 years and it's completely fine. But as well as being protective, they are really, really nice to look at. As you saw, they're beautiful cases, and they have over 2,000 print options. But I know what you guys want. You want to see the case in action. You want proof that it's actually that protective, so I'm going to show you. Here is one of the new cases I just got. Look how pretty it is. And here's my phone, which is working fine, as you can see. And if I just... it's still fine. But if you yourself are looking for something that is even more protective than that, Casetify recently released their new Bounce Case series. These also use EcoShock technology, but they can be dropped by up to 21 feet. And they are 6 times the military standard, which means that they have been drop tested 156 times. And even with this massive amount of protection on these cases, they're still gorgeous, really trendy. They also have 2,000 plus designs and as well customization options, which are just really cool. But I gotta tell you, it's not just the impact cases and the bounce cases that are your only options. Casetify have released another new series of clear cases. These are for if you're looking for something a little more low profile. They're very sleek, very subtle, really, really gorgeous clear cases. And they use UV Defender technology so that they won't go yellow like a lot of clear cases do. I know any clear case I've had from another company has gone yellow. And it gets really gross, but these won't. They are the slimmest case and they have tactile buttons and non-slip grip, but are still exceedingly protective. They can be dropped by up to 6.6 feet and still protect your phone. So there are a lot of great options for you to choose from. Casetify also sent me these really, really cute charms for your phone. I love them so much. They're so pretty. I think I'm going to try out the Christmassy one because I'm feeling a bit festive, and I'm going to try that out with a different case just to see how it looks. But these charms are really, really easy to put on. They're really simple and you can use it just to hold your phone or just as an accessory. But since you are going to be rushing immediately to look at these cases, and I know you will because they're fantastic, I want to tell you another cool thing about Casetify, which is their artist program. They work with a diverse range of artists from different backgrounds to produce some really, really cool cases. One of my favorite of these artists is Illustrata. They make some really, really cool cases. I adore them so much. I myself do have one of their cases. I love it. It's so cool. It's just such a cool design, and my girlfriend actually has the same one because we both liked it a lot. Anyway, if you would like to get yourself a phone case from Casetify, or if you would like to get one for somebody else because they do make a fantastic gift, then you can go to casetify.com/Vangelina to get 15% off your order, and that link will be in the description for you to check out as well. So thank you so much to Casetify for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for my lovely new cases. Let's get on with the rest of the video. But after the backlash, Balenciaga removed those photos and instead decided to replace them with a new version of the campaign which featured adults, because people started digging into that too, and they found some books stacked in the back of some of these pictures which seemed a little bit weird. One of these is a book titled Fire and Sun, which contains some paintings. Many of them are really weird and occult looking and feature kids, some pretty gross stuff, some pretty gruesome stuff. Things that I can't really go into now, but some of it involves people eating people. So there's that. And you know what the description of this book is? Fire from the Sun, which I'm just realizing I just called Fire and the Sun. It's called Fire from the Sun. Fire from the Sun includes small and large-scale works that feature toddlers engaged in playful but mysterious acts with sinister overtones and insinuations of violence. So clearly, people had a lot to go off of here and swiftly called out Balenciaga. And they accused the company and the people affiliated, and they accused the higher-ups in the company of being involved with a word I can't say on YouTube, pedophilia. There you go. You figured out what I'm trying to say. Now, people were pointing out, especially on TikTok, stuff about this campaign and other campaigns as well, which had been equally creepy, or at least equally, worthy of being called out for. And people were putting together connections of who works at Balenciaga, who owns the company, who has stakes in it, how are they connected to other celebrities and other dangerous people and known dangerous people and POs, and how all of them may be connected to CP and mistreatment of children. Honestly, guys, you all owe your conspiracy theory friends an apology, and I will be accepting apologies in cash. Thank you very much. Let's put all jokes aside for now, though. While I do think that there are some sick and evil people in the world, especially among the rich elites, there is a part to all of this that I can't buy into, and that is the idea that Satanists are responsible for all of this and are probably going to kill you and your entire family. Sorry to be the one to break that news. The Balenciaga scandal has caused a lot more people to fall down the completely wrong rabbit hole, and that is causing the reigniting of fear of satanic activity. This fear is known as satanic panic. So satanic panic kind of came about in the 80s and 90s, mostly in the US, but in a lot of other Western countries too. This all happened because there was a widespread fear that satanic rituals were happening everywhere. And the whole thing was actually really fueled by misinformation, false accusations, and terrible therapists. This all led to mass panic, hence the name Satanic Panic. It's got a nice ring to it. I always thought it would be a good name for a band. Or just change Panic at the Disco to Satanic Panic at the Disco. Why not? Why not? Why shouldn't they? And it even led to a number of high-profile trials and even some convictions of people who are later found to be innocent. One of the most well-known examples of this is the McMartin preschool trial. This began in 1983 and lasted for 6 whole years. This trial was based on accusations of satanic ritual you know what I'm trying to say, use at the preschool, but no evidence was actually found to support these claims. And it involved allegations of SA, of torture, and of unaliving of these students at the preschool. And it got even worse when these claims extended to there being secret tunnels under the school, animal sacrifices, and even flights to Mexico where the purpose of this trip was to mistreat the kids. But despite these very, very serious claims, there was never any evidence found to point to them being in any way true. And a lot of the kids' stories seem to change over time or be just completely inconsistent. As a result, after the 6 long years, no convictions were ever made. All charges were dropped and the defendants were found to be innocent. But the fear of satanic rituals continued to spread despite this and led to other high-profile cases, such as the West Memphis 3. In this case, 3 teenagers were wrongfully accused of unaliving 3 young boys. And the prosecution alleged that this unaliving was for the purpose of a satanic ritual. But like I said, they were wrongfully accused. This wasn't the case. My tea is too hot to drink, but it's nice and warm on my hands. They're so cold. I think I'm going to move into the other room actually and wait for this to cool down. Satanic Panic was not limited to high-profile court cases though. It also made its way into pop culture, media, music, where people were convinced that Satanists were everywhere and they were trying to corrupt the children. Please, won't somebody think of the children?
Won't somebody please think of the children?
And of course, movies like The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby fed into this fear. Some people believed these movies were a way to get demons into the bodies of their children. And this all made its way into music too, not surprisingly. Many musicians were being accused of promoting satanic messages in their music. For example, this happened to Judas Priest. In 1991, they were accused of putting subliminal messages in their music, which led to the suicide of a young man. Actually, 2 young men, but I got distracted because my cat is meowing to come in. I'm going to get her. They were sued for this, but the case was later dismissed because it was baseless. And we know that today this still persists in modern music. There are more obvious examples like Marilyn Manson, but this also goes into pop music as well, with people thinking that pop stars are secretly trying to run a satanic agenda. One more recent example is Lady Gaga. Near the beginning of her career, she was very often accused of promoting satanic activity and hiding subliminal messages in her music. And in 2011, a group whose name I must read from the screen because I cannot remember it for the life of me, the Catholic League for Religious and Civil Rights, called out her music video for Judas, calling it vile and the most shocking thing that they had ever seen, which, okay, calm down. It's really not bad at all. And I don't know what these people would do if they ever went out into the real world or even just saw a music video by an artist who isn't mainstream. They would lose their minds. More recently though, Lady Gaga's song Bloody Mary has gone viral on TikTok because people are posting themselves dancing to it, doing a dance that Wednesday had done in the show Wednesday. I'm sure you've seen it. But now, since Satanic Panic is once again on the rise, and I'm fully blaming Balenciaga for that, Lady Gaga is now being accused again of Satanism. They're saying that the lyrics of the song are satanic, it's promoting demon worship, and it's blasphemous. And even younger people are starting to say this on TikTok as well, which is, I find it just baffling, honestly. I need to stop and have a couple of sips of tea because I've been talking for too long. My throat hurts and I'm starting to get dizzy. Fun fact, I don't actually really like lemon and ginger tea, but I kind of like this one with the Manuka honey in it. At least I don't hate it, but it's good for my throat. So, you know, do what you gotta do, I guess. I am now also completely covered in hair from my cat, but we're all going to ignore that, yes? Yes, thank you. So look, Satanic Panic is on the rise again. It is a huge problem. I'm going to tell you why it's a huge problem, but first we do need to talk about what Satanism actually is. In almost all iterations of Satanism, there is no actual belief in a biblical Satan or demon or devil at all. And no, there is no sacrifice, human or otherwise. There are also several denominations of Satanism. One of the most well-known of these is Levian Satanism, which is more akin to an atheistic form of Satanism. It was founded by Anton LaVey in 1966, and the belief system behind it is that Satan represents indulgence and liberty. Gotta not forget the liberty. That people should be free to fulfill themselves without repressing themselves. And very importantly, without harming others. Like I said, it's more on the side of atheism along with individualism, and does not support the worship of an actual devil or Satan. Another form of Satanism is atheistic Satanism, where once again, people who practice this don't actually worship the devil or anything like that. And once again, they do not sacrifice animals or people, and they don't run around in little robes plotting how to corrupt your children. In conclusion, Satanism is not about this guy. Hi, baby. Right, I need to lie down. Let's go lie down. I'm over here now. Okay, so it turns out I can't actually lie down because there is a cat here. Although she is giving me this section. Hold on. Let's see if we can make this work. Okay. There we go. So it is important to remember that all of these accusations of satanic activity aren't actually because there's any evidence pointing to that. It's just because of fear and misinformation. While it's very understandable why people would be upset about the Balenciaga ad campaign, it's really important not to spread any more false information. It's bad enough on its own, we don't need to add stuff. Instead, we should be focusing on holding the company accountable for its actions, not any kind of false actions that didn't actually happen, and ensuring that children are protected. Satanic panic is not based on facts, and allowing it to grow and to spread once again can have dangerous consequences. The fear and paranoia of the 80s and 90s led to the wrongful convictions of innocent people for no reason. People went to jail, had to spend thousands of dollars on legal fees, and had their lives and public image destroyed based on false accusations, on fear, on panic, and the spreading of misinformation. It also led to ongoing controversy for artists and musicians without any evidence that they had ever done anything wrong in the first place. I mean, to this day, people are still accusing Lady Gaga just because. And some people won't even let their kids watch Harry Potter because it promotes witchcraft and Satanism. Hello, why do you meow every time I say Satanism? I am surrounded by cats. Oh my gosh. Okay, whatever. It's not recording again. It's not recording again! Oh. This is now my 4th attempt at recording this section of the video because every time I try something is wrong. 2 times the audio wasn't recording. 1 time the camera wasn't recording, so I'm losing my mind, but I really want to finish telling you guys about this. So what I was trying to say is, along with all those other issues that I spoke about, another issue with all of this is that it can lead to the prejudice and discrimination against different religious groups. Take, for example, the vein Satanism. But it can also lead into discrimination against paganism and other religions and neo-religions that people don't understand, so they say it's all just to do with Satan. But what I think is one of the main problems of all of this is that it distracts us from the actual issues. There are a lot of terrible people in the world doing terrible, terrible things. Sorry, my brain just went to that Bobby Burns clip of him going, terrible, 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 terrible content.
Terrible, 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 terrible content.
If you know, you know. I don't know what to tell you. But if we're all running around going, this person's a Satanist, no, this person, we are distracting ourselves from the potential real harm that might be taking place. And it's also kind of like giving that person an excuse and not focusing on the actual wrongdoings. And I'm gonna say it again. Satanic panic is not based on facts. It's based on fear and confusion. And personally, I do believe it's on the rise again, and I think we're going to have a few heavy years of it, unfortunately. But despite that, we do need to try and stay level-headed and focus first and foremost on the well-being of others. But do let me know in the comments what you thought about everything we discussed today. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Did you learn something new today? And of course, thank you so much for choosing to spend this part of your day with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe that you even learned something. Please, please, if you haven't already, I would really ask that you subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. And I am losing my mind and my voice because I recorded this so many times. I swear I'm better at making videos when I'm not sick. Despite the sick, I did have fun talking to you guys today. So, you know, subscribe, turn on notifications, like, comment, share, and if you would like to keep up with me personally, you can find me everywhere on social media at VangelinaSkov. Thank you so much once again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Please be recording. Please, please, please. It's recording. It's recording. Okay. I don't have to do it again. I need more tea.